I'm down here at root level with my new plant, bonding to the soil. Help to avoid transplant shock when planting your outdoor plants by doing what I'm going to tell you next. Hydrate your plant before planting it in the ground to avoid transplant shock. Also, don't use ice cold water, but tepid water that's lukewarm. Just remember how shocking it is to get into an ice cold shower. This is not the polar bear plunge, so your plants won't like it either. When you dig the hole and center the lively root plant in the spot, please don't wait to water it after adding the soil amendments. Water around the plant and dampen the soil at the root level so the roots have water to reach after planting. After adding the soil amendments, you can water the top soil portion around it to give it plenty of moisture. Then add mulch if you want to. Mulch can shade weed seeds and help preserve the moisture levels in the soil from evaporating as fast. When planting your new lively root plant baby in the ground, you'll want to keep an eye on the moisture level of the roots, especially in the first year. Giving it a drink means the water has to seep down to the root area. For ground covers and annuals, that's infiltration of 12 inches. For new shrubs, it's 2 feet, and for trees, it's 3 feet. Just think 1, 2, and 3 to make it easy. Depending on your soil structure will determine how long it takes to penetrate the soil. It won't take as long to drain if you have sandy soil, but it will take longer if you have clay soil like mine. You will have to do a little experimenting and monitor this. Try using our 3-in-1 meter for the ground covers or bulbs you plant to help evaluate the moisture level. If your sensor is restroom dry and you've sunk it all the way down into the ground, then it's time to water. Be aware that shallow-rooted plants need more moisture at the ground level, at a 2 or 3 inch depth. Sometimes the soil will dry out fast depending on the weather, the heat, the wind, and other plants surrounding it. So again, use your meter to measure the soil's moisture and keep your watering on a calendar reminder. Also, watch your weather forecast daily and see when your plant will need supplemental watering. Plants compete for water. Their tiny little roots are working hard to supply water to the leaves for photosynthesis. Even weeds are getting in on the competition, so give your plant plenty of room to flourish and provide it with the supplemental watering until it's established. And don't forget to weed. All of these points will help the plant get a good start in the landscape. And by the way, the best time to weed is after a good rain. The soil is moist, making it so much easier to yank out the weed out of the root. So lessen that competition around your plant for watering and conserve it for your plant. Weeds go away. You're not invited back any other day. Right before a significant cold snap in your area, make sure your plants are well watered. This precaution can help prevent desiccation to your outdoor garden plantings. Cold air can wreak havoc on some plants if it's a sudden temperature drop and Mother Nature hasn't given the plants time to acclimate. Did you know your plants go dormant in the wintertime? For the most part. Mother Nature has the neatest preservation method up her clever sleeve. The soil cools as the temperatures change in the fall. Then the deciduous plants will start losing their leaves, and this chain reaction helps the plant preserve its resources and puts it into a dormant period when it kind of goes to sleep for the winter, like a bear would go into hibernation. Then a substance, something like antifreeze, works its way through the plant stems to preserve it so the winter cold won't kill it. That's how they survive. Isn't that the coolest? In the meantime, your plant's roots are still growing beneath the surface, so providing enough water during this period is crucial for that spring flush of leaves. You may find that Mother Nature isn't always on time with regular waterings. If you're lucky enough to have a well or hold your excess water in a rain barrel, that's terrific. Watch the weather each day. Take a walk through your garden with your plant meter to inspect each plant and its need for moisture. If you live in a dry desert area or are experiencing long drought times, xeriscaping is the answer. Finding native plants that are drought tolerant and grouping them together is the next best thing in working around this problem. But remember, to establish your plants will still need adequate watering. You may be wondering, is there a better time to water than another? Generally, it's best to water in the morning before the sun gets too hot. This timing prevents wasting water through the evaporation, and also you want the leaves to dry before sundown to avoid fungus from forming on the leaves. But if your plant is showing signs of stress, give it a drink immediately. Taking care of your new outdoor plant and giving it plenty of moisture its first year is crucial to its longevity. I hope this gives you enough information to get your lively root plant off to a good start. Do you have a gardening tip to help your plant survive the first year? Share it with us in the comments below. Until the next time, have a lively day.